Barrow Raiders, notoriously difficult to beat at home, are trailing 24 points to nil to Halifax, the side just above them in the championship table. Halifax doing everything right. Matt Calland, no doubt, absolutely delighted with the way his side have gone about business. Not so for Steve McCormack and his Barrow Raiders side. It has been a very off-key performance from them. But there is still time for them to turn things round. They thought they had done, or they thought they'd got at least points on the board with that late try disallowed. But now they come out, and the Raiders supporters are in optimistic mood, trying to lift their side.
They need to have a lot more focus and a lot more determination going into the tackles. 17 missed tackles in the first half. That will not be pleasing Steve McCormack. They've got to control the big men. So many dangerous plays for Halifax when they get the ball.
So Patterson gets the second half underway for Halifax. The evening drawing in here in South Cumbria. And here is Andreas Bauer. Osler now, and Osler runs into Maloney and Frank Watine, and that's quite a formidable wall to run into. That herring gull is still out there. And the penalty goes against Halifax. The high shot it was on Michael Knowles.
Well, Barrow targeting the same defenders. There's big Frank Watine swinging arm. Gives a penalty away, helped by Dominic Maloney.
And sometimes the coach, once the game kicks off, he has little to do with how his team plays, but I do know from watching them warm up that Barrow are trying to keep things really tight. Steve McCormack just reminded them of what they had on the goal sheet, what they had on the game plan, and what he wants them to do tonight.
Oh, he's lost that ball. It was Osler, in his hurry to play the ball, went without it, and it just goes from bad to worse. Although Barrow could complain that there was a Frank Watine hand in there, and Steve McCormack cannot believe that. Let's go down to the sidelines and just get the mood in the camps from Rod.
Well, Matt Calland at Halifax has never been the easiest man to please, has he? I asked him, "Are you happy with that?" He said, "Well, I'm relatively happy." They're 24-0 up away from home, remember. He said the defence has been excellent, and the challenge to his players was to be as good as that in the second half. He's sure it's going to be a tough half. Well, Steve McCormack from Barrow, well, that must have been a really torrid team talk. He said, "I want them to show enthusiasm, effort and pride." We've lacked all three of those in the first half. Bill.
That's the challenge laid down by that man, Steve McCormack. There's a bit more fervour in the tackles from his side as Halifax try and bring the ball out. That's 4 tackles gone. And what's this one like on Frank Watine? And Big Frank's in the mood tonight. Brannigan's kick, half charge down. Noon will get there first, will he? No, Ballard is there to sweep it up for the side, and then Broadbent cuts through, and Broadbent, Ballard is on his outside, Rooney on his inside. Has Rooney got the legs? He has! And this is what Barrow needed at the start of the second half. And Gary Broadbent, the 33-year-old long-serving full-back, running that ball back from deep and linking up with Jamie Rooney, has got Barrow Raiders underway in this second half with a try that they so desperately needed to give themselves some belief.
Well, this is good kick pressure from Barrow, and that is a key indicator of who is enthusiastic. Ballard picks this ball up, he's a fast player, and that's why he attracts so many defenders to him. And two of the most experienced players for Barrow tonight, Gary Broadbent and Jamie Rooney, they decide to take this game by the scruff of the neck. And once Jamie Rooney gets this ball, he has options, but he just pins his ear back, goes for the line, and that's all she wrote.
And Jamie Rooney just a few moments ago converting his own try. And now there is a little bit of optimism in the air here. Barrow Raiders 6, Halifax 24. Jamie Rooney Barry said, another one of the seasoned campaigners here, the former Wakefield man and an ex-England international as well. Another one of the big-name recruits here at the Barrow Club last season. Signed a 2-year deal. And that's a warning for Halifax. They can't afford to drop their guard. Matt Callan saying he was delighted with the defence. Well, one or two gaps in the defence there, which Barrow Raiders exploited. And they're looking to do that again now.
I think that was an illegal play, the ball there. Bell on the tackle before. I think it was Andreas Bauer. I don't think he fully had control of that ball when he played it. Just watch it as he's getting up. No.
It was out the side door, wasn't it, that one?
Well, sometimes you just got to ride your luck. But they definitely look more enthusiastic. The kick chase, this Barrow side.
I'm going to say this, Tez, I don't think Barrow can rely on luck tonight. Everything that could have gone against them has, so they need to be squeaky clean, including when they play the ball.
Patterson gets away from Coyle, but Coyle hounds him down and makes the tackle. Black, Watine did well to get the ball away, and they're giving this some width early on, and Warrancy comes back in field. Just a high shot on Warrancy that momentarily stopped him, but all the way up to the 20. Black straight up the middle, almost opened up for him. Brannigan, Barlow, and Sam Barlow will get that ball down for another Halifax try. And that's an instant response from this Halifax side to that Barrow Raiders try. And Sam Barlow, just back at Halifax, that's where his career began, rejoined the club from Sheffield, gets his second try in 2 games since returning to the club.
A bit of over-enthusiasm here from Barrow, just a moment or two before Ned Katic comes out the line, giving Warranty the gap. And let's not forget, last week in Blackpool, Halifax actually won the nines competition held over there. And at times, this is like nines play. Players running into space, running at pace, and looking to bust the line. Brannigan with options, he uses Black. Black keeps the ball available, and there are players running with purpose, knowing that they've got a chance of scoring.
And Sam Barlow took his chance for try number 6 of the season. Now then, Lee Patterson hasn't missed tonight. On target again. And 30 points to 6. And that's burst the little bubble of optimism that was just starting to form for the Barrow Raiders. Sam Barlow with the try.
Let's credit Frank Watine for setting up that field position. It was his quick hands in the middle of the park that got the overlap for Warranty to bust through. Matt Calland, again, I'll be happy. What will be the response like from this Barrow outfit? Good defence.
Trying to get Dylan Nash into touch there. Very nearly succeeded. Here is Warranty. Warranty quickly closed down. Katic, as ever, involved.
Steve McCormack's asked for enthusiasm, but over-enthusiasm sometimes can get you into trouble. Just do your job and do it as well as you can do it.
Coyle with the tackle on Ben Black, and Black just made a bit of a hash of that play the ball and holds his hand up, hoping that the referee would be lenient, but knew exactly what he'd done there.
No, just a mess of that, Ben Black. So he tries to get up the urgency. James Coyle trying to get in position at first marker.
What about this one, Tess? Some players carry the ball with the left hand, but choose to play it with the right hand, and that moment, that momentary swap, I think sometimes lets players down. We've got Sam Barlow just at the back, got a bloody nose when he was scoring that try. I think he'll think that were worth it.
Sam Barlow just having a little bit of treatment. Not sure that'll do the job long term, but the head and feed goes to the Barrow Raiders from that error from Ben Black. Coyle, Here's Keele Carlisle. That's a good ball for Butler. Butler's pass inside to Keele Carlisle, and he'll finish off. Well, the big man, Jamie Butler, doing ever so well there, just on the pitch. And there is certainly more spirit from the Barrow Raiders in this second half, and Keele Carlisle, on loan from the Giants for the remainder of this season, gets off the mark for his new club.
Here's Ben Black to play the ball again. He's got it in his left, plays it with his right, and it's too messy for the referee's liking. But watch the line from Jamie Butler here. A line ball like a giraffe going into that gap, and just feeds the ball the inside. He's one of the tallest players in the league, Jamie Butler. But all the skills on show. Perfect pass, lays it on a plate for Keele Carlisle. Barrow back again.
A bit of a little and large combination there. Jamie Butler, 6'5". Keele Carlisle, not so tall. Jamie Rooney with the conversion attempt and on target. Barrow 12, Halifax 30. Now then, can Barrow not concede immediately again? That's what their coach will be hoping.
If there's any team that can score 3 tries, or 3 converted tries in this competition, is this Barrow side. They just need to back themselves more in defence. Said in the first half, they're one of the best defensive teams in the competition. They just need to back that up in this second half.
Here goes Ballard now. Oh, Knowles couldn't take the pass, but offside is the decision from referee Lawton.
Well, again, they've got the penalty. They're generating a lot of speed around the ruck area. The Halifax defenders, it's wrenched, just can't get back to the referee, Ron Lawton. And again, how the tables have turned.
So the penalty has Halifax marching backwards. 10th penalty of the game so far. Here's Katic. Nash with the tackle, Brannigan up high, and Brannigan too long in there. And that's another penalty.
And that's just a mismatch, that, and you feel if Ned Katic can get the ball in his hands more. Scored 18 tries for his side this year. He's a big, awkward, unorthodox type of runner.
Knowles. Great opportunity now for the Barrow Raiders to post back-to-back tries, perhaps. Here's Coyle. Coyle taking him on his own. Just back from a knee problem, James Coyle. Keele Carlisle and Knowles stretching over. Has Knowles got that ball down? Referee Ron Lawton having his view obscured there, I think, has gone to video ref Ray Tennant. I'm not sure if Knowles did get the ball down or whether Halifax might have just got enough hands underneath it.
I think he gets this down, Bill. His second effort, he's not giving up when he's going for this try.
I think because he keeps trying, that tells me he didn't get it down.
I think that's a try, that, Barry.
Yeah, I think he might be right.
It's a good effort from the back rower, Michael Knowles. He's got Wrench in front of him, Shad Royston coming over the top. Sam Barlow trying everything. You can see his head and his shoulders are over that line. Yeah, that ball's down.
It's got to be benefit of the doubt, although it's not clear. This might be a clear angle. It's got to be benefit of the doubt. I agree with you, Tez. Changed my mind.
Well, there's the ball.
There you go.
Ray Tennant is the video ref, looking at that one very closely to see whether the Barrow Raiders have got back-to-back tries, and one right near the post that Rooney will surely convert. It is a try for Knowles, and there is still hope for the Barrow Raiders. And benefit of the doubt was the call from the video ref, thinking that Knowles had certainly done enough to get that ball down. And Rooney, no hesitation in converting that one. And now the Raiders supporters really do believe that their side can turn this around. 24-0 down at half-time, 30 points to 18 now the scoreline.
Well, this game proving to be a real roller coaster. Brannigan trying to slow Katic down. He gives the penalty to the Barrow players, and Michael Knowles, with all the strength in the world, there's 2-3 defenders trying to deny him this try. And this second half is all about pride for Barrow. It's 18 points to 6 in the second half to Barrow.
Broadbent underneath that. Here is the try scorer, Michael Knowles.
And even in the opening 11 minutes, they're running with more purpose, Barrow. Look, more players pushing up, more movement around the ruck area from this Barrow side. It wasn't there in the first half.
Here is Andreas Bauer. It's time for Halifax to tighten things up, but they were offside.
Well, Sean Penkovic shaking his head. Jamie Rooney not wasting any time. You can see he's just a yard in front. If he can get back 9 yards, he can take an extra step.
Well, they've taken this penalty and the restart very quickly of the Barrow Raiders, and Halifax just having to up their game at the moment, because these are rampant Raiders.
They stood flat-footed in defence.
And they're on the 10-metre line. They're looking for another try here. It's with Rooney. Rooney, though, collared. Wrench with the tackle. Keele Carlisle, little step from the hooker. Barlow all over him. Rooney, Broadbent. Broadbent almost through a gap there, Gary Broadbent. Held right underneath the posts, right underneath the crossbar there. Keele Carlisle. Coyle! Are they in again? They are. It's Osler, I think, who's got this one. Osler's got another Barrow Raiders try. And the turnaround really is on for Steve McCormack's men. And Martin Osler gets his 6th try of the season. The man who missed last year's grand final through injury. Heartbroken at that. Hoping that maybe this season he'll get back to the grand final.
A looping left to right pass from dummy half allows Coyle the space, and all he has to do is a simple drawn pass, and it's Ben Black who he commits. Osler with the strength and the leg drive, and the fans are shouting, come on lads, we can do this.
Can Rooney do this? 2 more points for the sides. 24 points to 30, the scoreline here. Who'd have thought at 24-0 to Halifax at half-time that the game would be turned around this quickly?
Well, 4 quick tries in the opening 14 minutes of the second half. Talked about Barrow being shell-shocked in the first half. Halifax now trying to rally each other.
18 points in the last 5 minutes to the Barrow Raiders. Well, Halifax have hardly touched the ball. And here is Michael Knowles. And the Raiders supporters really are up for this now. Harrison. Knowles now.
Well, we talked about Halifax in the first half, only missing 1 tackle. They're now up to 9. That's with the ferocity with which this Barrow players are running onto the ball.
Now then, here's Blackwood. Oof, almost went without it. Anthony Blackwood, and Ben Black has taken the ball off him. So Black on Blackwood, and it's Black who comes up with the ball. And that's a big moment for Halifax.
Well, Ben Black comes up with a magical play here. You can see he knows it's a one-on-one tackle. Good play by Goddard to stay out of that tackle with Ben Black.
It was, wasn't it? He seemed to
he
notice
knew exactly
what was going on.
Ben Black was doing. He knew where his arms were. His arms around the ball. There was only one thing that was on his mind now, to rip that ball from his grasp.
That was the pet player of another former Halifax player, Gavin Clinch. Gavin the Pinch, we used to call him. Excellent at that particular skill.
Black now with the ball, but Keele Carlisle has got it off him. But did Carlisle knock that on?
What an effort by the young hooker. He's got off the line to pressure him into the kick. But does he knock the ball forward? I think he's going to more put pressure on him not to strip this ball.
I think in the action of making the tackle, he dislodges the ball. And my word, hasn't this kid made a difference when he's come on. Keele Carlisle has really added some speed, some guile and some intelligence in the ball handling.
And Liam Harrison, well, He's furious at that decision, but to be fair, Liam Harrison just caught up in the moment. I think they're desperate to play the ball quickly and can't complain that there was anybody interfering there.
Such is the pace of this game at the minute that errors are going to come thick and fast in the last 20-odd minutes. In the action of playing that ball, Liam Harrison, he has no case to plead. He loses that.
Boy, done everything right. He'd beaten the markers. The markers weren't set because of the speed at which he was going to play that ball. All he had to do was put it down properly and play the ball.
So Halifax have the ball back for the first time in quite a while. Larder now. And Larder has lost that one. Play on, says the referee. Looked at his touch judge. Nothing amiss with that.
Oh, it's a bit of a knock-on-a-thon now at the minute.
Nathan Mossop ducking and diving and eventually driven back. Here's the tackle.
There you can see, just loses it. Loose grip on that ball again.
I think there was a hand in there from Knowles.
Knowles in possession. Here's Osler, great ball inside to Coyle, and Coyle has got Ballard. What a tackle from Black that was, and it needed to be because Ballard was gone there. Osler now. Bowman with the tackle there. The youngster on the field, that's the fifth. Now then, Coyle, grubber kick in. Oh, and Brannigan's lost it, and fortunately for him, Royston was there to pick it up. Could have gone horribly wrong, that.
It's a good thing Shad Royston was anticipating that. Clever kick by Coyle. But again, very hesitant bringing the ball away, Warranty. Here's the kick from Coyle. Brannigan loses it. Good positioning by Shad Royston, the fullback from Halifax.
That's what you want from your 6 and 7, and almost telepathic understanding. When one's going to kick, the other's going to chase.
Coming up to the hour mark. And now just 6 points in it, but giving that ball a bit of width. It was forward, says the referee, and touch judge on the same wavelength.
Oh, and they're still on with it.
Warranty and Harrison just chasing each other.
Playing a game of tick there at the top. Let's have a look. It's a very wide pass, and Halifax again, they must feel that that's where the spaces and gaps were in the first half, so that's where they'll be in the second. I think that Barrow in this second half have been better at nominating, have been better at accounting for defenders, so therefore there's less space on the outside.
Referee Lawton laying down the law as he'd expect from a police officer. And it's head and feed to the Barrow Raiders. And now it's Zeb Luisi, who, by his standards, has had a quiet night, Luisi. Ballard.
He needs to inject himself into this game, Zeb Luisi.
Here's Braychek just on the field, replacing Michael Knowles, I think, who's just got a real ovation from the Raiders supporters. Here is Osler, who's had a big impact as well, Martin Osler. And Halifax back on their own try line, defending this set of 6. Real turnaround in this game, and this is a test of the Fax character now. Very comfortable position at half-time, but now it's not comfortable at all as that kick goes high and Warranty underneath it. And that's going to be a goal line dropout, I think, says the referee. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. Warranty, he's not sure either. As he goes up for this, is it his hand?
Comes off his head, doesn't it?
It could be his shoulder. I don't know whether there's a Barrow player in attendance. Just have a look. Just have a look. Ned Katic. There you go. Right off his fingertips, off his fingernails, or his nose, or his Mohican, one or the other.
But it's all going the Barrow Raiders' way at the moment. Halifax with a goal line dropout. Their first of the evening, indicative of the pressure they are under at the moment. Can they respond to the pressure? Into the final quarter then of this game, which would not have gone down at half-time as one of the championship highlights of the season. It's fair to say that, but certainly has been transformed in the second half by this Barrow Raiders comeback. Braychek. Mossop, Coyle now, and Rooney. Here is Luisi for Katic, motoring onto that ball. Sweetly worked move from the Barrow Raiders there. Harrison. Rooney scoops it off the ground. Brett McDermott back on the field. And that's the 5th tackle. What will Rooney come up with here? Was there a little fumble there from Mossop? Rooney gets the pass away to Braychek. Braychek in a wrestling match, trying to offload it, but that's going to be the turnover, and I think they were lucky to get away with that, the Barrow Raiders.
Yeah, he's caught in possession, the big prop forward Andy Braychek. But look where he's turning this ball around, right on Halifax's try line.
From a Barrow perspective, Tez, in the 22 minutes of this second half, they've been very good on the last tackle options. That was a little bit poor compared to what they've put in front of Halifax.
Here is Goddard. Had a dream first half, John Goddard, with those 2 tries, but it's been a very different story for he and his teammates in this second 40.
It's going to be very interesting to see how Halifax handle this pressure. Everything in the first half went their own way. Then Barrow have come out in this second half, threw the ball around, scored 24 points. Who can handle the pressure the most?
Here's Neil Cherryholm back at Halifax after his loan spell at Swinton. Cherryholm away to Shad Royston. Halifax's top try scorer this season, Shad Royston, 22 to his name already this season. Bezic.
Well, now it's Halifax who can't get the ball to the correct person to kick it. Michael Ostick on that occasion, the prop forward.
Broadbent over the 40-metre line. Here is Brett McDermott. Dermott up to halfway, up to and over halfway. Bezic had a hold of a hoof there. Braychek. 4 tackles gone. Here is Rooney now. Zeb Luisi. Harrison shrugs off the first challenge, tries to go away from Dylan Nash, but Nash just clings on, does well there, and Nash does ever so well to win the ball at that scrappy play the ball, and then swats aside Zeb Luisi. And that is a real lift for his side from Dylan Nash, but not surprisingly, he's feeling a bit groggy after that.
Dylan Nash was the first to react there. Warrensy again with some power and some urgency. He's the first person to react. Andreas Bauer won't be happy with that when he watches it tonight. He knows that that's his job. He's got to get that ball and scoop it onto his teammate.
Here is Larder now. Well, Halifax showing there that they have the capability to counter very rapidly. Warrensy was almost away. Here is Royston. Royston will get try number 23 of his season. And they do break out after that pressure from the Barrow Raiders, a Raiders side who really thought they could turn this game around. Matt Callan's men have responded well there, and they've worked their way out of defence, but they owe a lot to Dylan Nash for snaffling that ball when the Raiders had possession deep in the Halifax half. It was Nash who pounced on it, and Royston made the most of it to finish off there.
It was quick reactions from Dylan Nash that gave them the ball. But again, Bob Bezic, whenever Bob Bezic's making the decisions, there's the quick play the ball, Dylan Nash gets it. Gets a clip from Zeb Luisi for his trouble. But look at Bob Bezic here, shows one way, shows the other, picks up Ben Black, and those are the 3 players that you want. If you're a Halifax fan, a Halifax player, you want those 3 players making the decisions.
Like scoring against the Barrow Raiders, and he is a phenomenal try scorer. Over 20 tries a season for the last 5 seasons from Shad Royston. What a player to have in your armoury. And now Patterson, what a goal kicker to have in your armoury as well. To think this guy was almost lost to the round ball game, Lee Patterson hasn't missed tonight. And Royston's try, goal by Patterson, just might I say might have put Halifax beyond reach here.
You've got to credit the vision from Bob Bezic. You can see Braytek in the top of your screen just getting back. He has a little look up now, sees that he's not set, he passes it to Ben Black. Ben Black pops it back inside to Shad Royston. Braytek, no chance whatsoever.
Well, from that restart, they went for the short one, and Barrow Raiders, I think, will get the ball back. Bowman thought he'd got it, it just got away from the youngster.
A high kick-off, it's always a contest when it's a high kick-off. It is a high-risk play, and just as many times it can go for you, it goes against you. And Bowman, he's the player that makes the error, he's the player that makes the mistake. But both coaches, I think part of them will be delighted, part of them will be really disappointed.
Well, a big debate going on now about what happened there, but I think it was a knock-on by Bowman, surely.
I think Ned Katic gets the ball at some point, but whether he knocks it back... Let's have a look. He sticks with his original decision.
Head and feed to Barrow Raiders. It is. There's the incident. Back off Katic, Bowman goes for it, knocks it on, head and feed to Barrow Raiders. Penalty to the Barrow Raiders.
So mistake from Bowman, penalty from Bowman.
The flop, says the referee. 18-year-old Anthony Bowman penalised there, and Osler on the run. Well, don't write this Raiders side off. They've been written off at half-time, but they've shown plenty of character in this second half to really rattle Halifax. This third against fourth in the table, Halifax hoping to go above Lee and into second place on the back of this win here tonight. But they're not home and dry yet. And here comes Rooney again, string puller in chief for this Barrow Raiders side, Jamie Rooney. Nash in with a tackle. He's had a big game for his side as Dylan Nash. Harrison does manage to get that away. Here is Katic. Flings the ball backwards and it comes to James Coyle. And Nash there again to make the tackle. Liam Harrison just at the top of your picture, struggling to get back into line. They're coming Harrison's way as well. Luisi puts the kick in, and they're in the corner, and Bauer, I think, has claimed the try. And no hesitation from referee Lawton to go to the video ref. Bauer finishing that one off. They're not giving this one up yet, the Raiders. And the kick into the corner, and Bauer was there to finish it off. Just his second try of the season.
Well, we are being treated to a festival of tries in this second half. Andreas Bauer hooks that touchline, knows at some point it's going to hit near the corner, and Zed Luisi puts a beautiful kick in. Absolutely outstanding play, well executed. Just drops it onto the end of his toe. Andreas Bauer and the referee happy with the positioning.
And Rooney, if he can land this, there'll be drama on here, but he misses just short. Still could be drama on here. Andreas Bauer with the try then. He got two in last year's grand final win against Halifax. And he's on target again this evening.
Well, we talk about Zeb Luisi getting his hands on the ball. He pulls up the Halifax defence. Warrants he has no option. He comes up. Andreas Bauer just gets behind him to score that try. Oof. 8 points in it, 10 minutes to go.
10 minutes of the game gone, the tension mounting, the tension obviously too much for the Seagull, which seems to have departed. Here, or else it gave up at half-time, unlike the Barrow Raiders supporters.
It might just be
ejected. Ejected, too much noise.
Here is Mossop. Into the last 10 minutes then. And a real test coming up for this Halifax defence now as Barrow Raiders with their tails up, and Harrison stabs the kick in. Royston very coolly across to watch that into touch. He was playing with fire there with Shad Royston, because Bauer was chasing it down the sidelines.
Well, Shad Royston confident that ball was going to go dead. But again, who was it who had the hands on the ball? Zeb Luisi coming from one side of the pitch to the other to get the ball. Good pass to Liam Harrison, who puts that neat little kick in. There he is. Things happen when that man gets hold of the ball.
Bit of a hold-up in play here because I think Dave Wrench needs a bit of treatment. He's leaving the field. Looks like a cut.
Well, Ron Lawton, the referee, just saying to Andy Braycheck, control yourself. Don't give any daft penalties away.
Dave Larder coming back on for Halifax. Now then, Barrow Raiders will be looking to force the error. Halifax need to be squeaky clean here. No errors. And a good kick on the end of it. Here is Ostick.
Brett McDermott trying to get his shoulder underneath that ball to dislodge it.
Cherry home now. He plays the ball. Brannigan. Here's Sam Barlow. Barlow eventually topples as Rooney removes one of the supports. Bob Bezic had such an influence at the start of this game with those 40-20 kicks, and at a time when Halifax were really dominating. Very different story now. Brannigan steps back into the pockets and makes the kick, but slipped, and it's not one of his strongest, and Ballard runs it back, but gets the pass away. Broadbent, Harrison now. Harrison obviously recovered from the knock that he picked up a few moments ago.
But again, pressure the defenders from Barrow. That kick from Brannigan only making 30 yards. Needs a bit more time coming off a slow play of the ball.
Mossop gets the pass away, did well. Braycheck, hand off against Sean Penkovic, fellow Welsh international there. Here's Mossop, Coyle, Luisi now, Luisi, Harrison, and Harrison will step back inside Royston and claim another Barrow Raiders try. This game isn't over yet, and the beast is back. 12th try of the season for Liam Harrison. And if Rooney can land this one, well, then we could be in for a rip-roaring finish once again here on a Thursday night on Sky Sports.
This could be the most amazing game of championship rugby we've watched. 24-0 down at half-time, and Barrow come out and almost, they're within a whisker of taking this game away from Halifax. Very intelligent play from Zeb Luisi. Frees up Liam Harrison to get them back in the game.
Rooney has landed that one on target. A difficult conversion, but Jamie Rooney's the man. He and Patterson, the two best goal kickers in the business. And it's 34-36 now.
Hold on to your hats, we're going to have a real fast finish. Dylan Nash, number 18, he can't do that. You can't back off in defence on your own try line. He shows the outside to Liam Harrison. He takes it, the big man, goes in for the try. Speaking of big men, Frank Wateen's come on for Halifax.
And Tez, he really did cause Barrow some troubles in the first half. They'll need to contain him. But if Barrow keep hold of possession, they're in the box seat.
Coming up to the last 5 minutes then at Craven Park, a game that seemed well beyond the Barrow Raiders at half-time is really in the balance now, just 2 points in it. Let's go down to the sidelines for news from Rod.
Well, Matt Callan, Bill, is showing signs of, well, not blind panic, but certainly heavy concern. He's up and down these steps in these stands like nobody's business. He'll have felt like he's run a marathon by full time. And you know, at half-time when he said he was only relatively pleased, maybe he knew that it wasn't quite as safe as we thought it was at 24-0. It's game on now, all right.
Absolutely. And now 5 minutes to go. Rooney hounded by Bezic, but gets away and looking to link up with one of the danger men, Ballard, but couldn't get the pass. That's the fifth. An element of panic about the Halifax defence here. Coyle hoists the kick. Royston is underneath it, and Royston makes that his. Now Warrancy.
I think some of Coyle's teammates are expecting the ball to go right on the left-hand side. Halifax is right and test that man, Warrancy.
Patterson.
Let's not forget, gents, that James Coyle has been out for a number of weeks with a bad knee, and I do believe in that first half the confusion came from James Coyle not really wanting to kick that ball. And when Jamie Rooney were tied up, it was down to anybody just to kick that ball.
Here's Nash. Nash for Brannigan. Halifax just looking to maintain possession and get a good kick in on the end of it. And then they might just get out of Barrow with the championship points here, and Barrow would have to settle for a bonus point. Enough to put Halifax into second place. Of course, Featherstone Rovers looking virtually odds on for the title, and that could be it. That could be curtains. It is. Warranty will finish it off. Warranty gets the try that decides this game, that really looked decided at half-time. Bauer holds his head. The fumble from him, and the Halifax players were on it in a flash to capitalise. And relief in the Halifax ranks, dejection in the Raiders ranks, and Steve McCormack knows his side have come that close to one of the turnarounds of the season.
Well, Andreas Bauer, who a couple of minutes ago was getting high fives from everybody, he's now getting pats on his back saying, never mind, mate. That's the ups and downs of rugby league. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Unfortunately, on that occasion, it bounced up, hit him in the chest. Dylan Nash pressures him, and Warranty gets the points for Halifax.
Oh, Andreas Bauer. Harsh game it is. And Rob Warranty got 4 tries in that win against Whitehaven last time out for Halifax, but that one just as precious, because it has settled a lot of nerves in the Halifax camp. And Patterson, can he finish the night with a 100% goal-kicking record? This one is on target again. What a performance from that man, Lee Patterson. 112 now for the season. He got 126 last season. He's on course to better that this year. And 42-34. There's been some turnarounds in this second half, but surely now time is against this Barrow Raiders side. Rooney will go for another short restart, and Halifax weren't exactly in a position to make the most of that. And Bezic has, I think, fumbled that ball into touch. It'll be scrum on the halfway line, head and feet to the Barrow Raiders. Referee will stop the clock.
Here's the kick-off. Bob Bezic chases this ball. He chases it for all his life, and Gary Broadbent, he thinks, I'm getting out of here, I've had enough. Looks to have picked up an injury. He's an absolute warrior, Gary Broadbent. Puts his body on the line every time. May well have cost himself an injury on that occasion.
It is Barrow's head and feet at this scrum, but they've only got 12 men on the field at the moment, I think. No, Jamie Butler has just come on to replace Gary Broadbent. Now then, can they provide one last twist in this game? It's going to have to be something spectacular in the last couple of minutes now.
They've been very good at that in the second half. Spectacular they can do, conservative.
Well, they've scored 3 in 5 minutes midway through this second half. Here is Katic now. Katic is held, and Halifax will concede the penalty.
Dylan Nash has his hands all over that ball. It's no good looking at the touch, Judge.
Here's Braychek. So Halifax on course for a double against the Barrow Raiders, having beaten them comfortably at the Shea back in May, 46-24. This far from comfortable, and they're not that comfortable yet, because there could yet be another Barrow Raiders try. But Halifax have snaffled that ball, and I think it was Bob Bezic, who has been a big influence on this Halifax side virtually from the word go, who just got his body in the way there to deny Rooney what would surely have been a try.
Bob Bezic, he's worked his blood to water. He's come up with 15 tackles throughout this game, and so many important plays and so many important decisions, particularly on that occasion. Just got himself in between the Barrow players and made it almost impossible for one to feed the ball to the other.
Here is Patterson, whose immaculate goal kicking has certainly helped this evening. And Penkovic puts the kick in. Andreas Bauer fields it. You feel for Bauer because he's been involved in this big second-half fight back from Barrow Raiders, try-scorer as well. And yet it's his error that'll probably be remembered, conceding that try from Warranty, which has settled this game in favour of Halifax, and jubilation and I dare say relief from those Halifax players, because what looked like a very comfortable position at half-time turned into something far, far from comfortable in the end. And Steve McCormack wanted his side to salvage pride in the second half, to put everything right. Well, they certainly have done that, and they've come very close to turning this game around, just falling short at the end, but certainly putting the wind up this Halifax team with a complete transformation.
Nobody looking for the long grass in the Barrow shirts, and that's what you want as a coach. Sometimes you get it wrong, and sometimes it isn't your day as a player. But what you don't want your team to do is put the white flags up and not give it a crack. And that's what they did. They came out in the second half and they really, really pushed Halifax all the way. 4th against 3rd, and good value for money tonight.